silly man, just silly. Silly boy.
Dean, with you having been in WCW when they were on TNT and it was the Monday Night Wars, now AEW is going to be on TNT and there's another show going on at the same time. What kind of expertise do you think you can bring as someone who was there when this kind of thing has happened before in the past? Like, what can you bring to that?
Well, what I can bring to that is try to get talent not to worry about it. Go out there and just work the best they can and put on a great show. If you do that, you'll always be fine. If you always got to worry about somebody behind you or you got to worry about your competitor all the time, you're worried about somebody else more than you're worried about your own. So I think I can help them guide in that direction.
And when you look at All Out as a card tomorrow night, like what match are you excited for the most as a fan to kind of sit and watch? Like what match do you think could steal the show?
All of them. I think there's some great matches. Unfortunate stuff with Moxley, but things will happen, injuries will happen. I'm looking forward for all of them.
You said during the Q&A that you were not in this sport for the championship. So necessarily on the night Chris Benoit said what he said to you. So what is your major driving motivation throughout your career? What has that been?
Going out and having good matches and just having fun, wrestling my friends or wrestling from the crowd that's really hot. Like all the times we've always had wrestle in Chicago. Nice plug. Just going out good matches and just enjoying what I do and reaping the benefits of what I've done for the last 20, 30 years.
Something that didn't get brought up during the panel was your time as like the James Bond ladies man in the WWE.
And you had to bring that up.
Yeah, I had to bring it up. I wanted to get your just thoughts on it and how did that come to be kind of deal?
I don't know how it came to be. I think it was a joke that just kept running. It was fun for me though because there's something. It was a way for me to kind of step out of my character or the character that I don't have. And it was fun, with all the stuff with Lita, we had a blast, and with Matt and Jeff, and it was again something different that I haven't done before, and so I took it as a challenge and went out and tried to do the best I could with it.
Almost 20 years ago, you and Chris Jericho were kind of at the same time wrestling. Now here we are, and Jericho's in the main event. You're behind the scenes doing stuff. You guys are both still heavily involved. When you look at Jericho now, he's still kind of at the top of his game at this point. What do you attribute that to? What is it about Jericho that he's been able to have such a longevity on top?
Good vitamins and good night creams on his face. No. Chris is I said this before, Chris is a go-getter. He's involved with so many things. He's got his hands in everything. From writing books to his, to Fozzy, and he's got a podcast, and he keeps himself young by constantly keeping active and keeping moving all the time. Chris always loves what he does, and he's always going out. And Chris's biggest thing, and I think his biggest part of the success is that he always reinvents himself, and he reinvents himself at the right time, at the right moment, and he understands the audience. He understands what they like, what they want, what they're looking at, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's still around today, and still doing a great job.
You mentioned you've been close to Cody since his time in WWE. With what we've seen so far with his match coming up with Shawn Spears, what are your thoughts on what we've seen so far? The idea of bringing Tully in, what do you think of what we've seen so far from him in AEW?
I love it. I think some of the storytelling that we've been doing, and we're not even on TV yet, has been awesome. They've done a great job, especially Cody with the social media the way it is. And just, the whole story, the whole build, with Shawn Spears, there's a guy that wasn't done with much, where he just came from, and now he feels like a star all of a sudden. And I think, I can't wait to get to TV and keep more of that going. And Cody's been doing an awesome job with everything.
There's been a lot.
Two more.
Oh, sorry. There's been a lot made of the differences in style between something like AEW compared to a WWE style, and having been on the road with them for 18 years. How excited are you to kind of dive in with what AEW is doing, bringing more of that sport-based athleticism to the sport of professional wrestling, or bringing it back a little bit?
Well, I think it's closer to what I do and what I'm known for, and I love challenges put in front of me. That feels like it's a fresh start after so many years and being 59 years old, 59 young years old, and give me an opportunity to work with a whole new crew of guys that are really hungry to get in and make a name for themselves and be a part of history.
You've been a producer for years, sort of with talent and stuff on a live television show, and now with AEW getting a live television show in October, are there a couple of things maybe that for you you'd like to see maybe change that could be better to adapt when AEW goes to TNT?
Not better. I think a lot of my experience will be to help Cody out and help these young guys out get adjusted to TV. TV is a whole different animal than it is when you're doing a live event with non-television. is because you have a little more luxury of, you don't have commercials built into it where TV you do. So your matches are chopped up a little bit, and just having the guy, and you're dealing with time because you have commercials and you have a time span that you gotta reach when you're doing an 8 to 10 show. You have to be off the air at a certain time. So I'm here to kind of help these guys learn how to do that, and instruct them the best way to do that. At the same time, do that and get over, and try to get themselves recognized with this new audience that we got coming.
During the Q&A, you mentioned that you were your time in All Japan, you kind of dealt with tag teams, time in New Japan, junior heavyweights. Can you talk about working with a younger roster that maybe didn't learn to steal and learn the different worldwide ways to make a chicken, like you mentioned, and how you can kind of help them come along in that process?
Yeah, just my vast experience. I've been doing it for so many years. I can help guide these guys. I know one thing that Tony Khan really wants to stress going forward is tag team wrestling. I've had the luxury of working with my brother as a tag partner, Chris Benoit, and a couple other guys here. Chris and my brother, probably the two mainstays that I had as tag partners. But I was involved with tag matches for a long time, and I think it would be just exciting, if not more exciting, than a single match done the right way. I think just looking at the roster now that we have, and some couple tag teams that are out there that hopefully we can pull into this company at one point. There's some great talented tag teams out there, and really looking forward to working with all those guys.